Hi guys, in this video I'm going to talk about some of the ideas I've got for the action research project that I'm going to do for putting together my experienced teacher report. I do the flipped classroom, been doing the flipped classroom for a while, and we've over the last couple of years added gamification into that. Now I want to move to, and I've dabbled in it, but I want to move to some sort of mastery, self-paced mastery model within that flipped gamified classroom. So I'm thinking something along the lines of what is the effect of self-paced learning on student engagement and achievement in a gamified classroom. So I'm thinking that to be my focus question, looking at engagement. So something that I think is a problem, particularly in science, is that engagement decreases as you go through the years, especially for those lower levels or students of that lower achievement. So because they're constantly being demoralized about not being able to do science, they get this idea in their head that they can't do science, and their engagement really drops off. And we very much see this in sort of year 9, year 10, for those people who, or students who aren't thinking about doing a senior science once they get to year 11 and 12. And this is at year 9, they're not thinking that they're going to do a senior science, but at our school about 60% of students do a science. So it's obviously often surprising to them that they end up doing a science after they've sort of switched off for a year or so, going, oh, well, I'm not going to do this next year, so it doesn't really matter. The achievement in there, looking at whether this actually results in better marks. So, yeah, my hope is here that this self-paced thing means that the students, especially weaker students, may not get all the content done, but the content that they do get through, they learn to a deeper level, or, more importantly, actually learn. We seem to, in science, just throw content at kids and just belt feed content into them, and then get to the end of the year and wonder why they've, after the exam, data dumped all this, and then the next year we have to do the same thing because we go, oh, well, they don't remember anything that they learnt from last year. So that depth of learning, or whether they've actually learnt it, is something that I'm interested in actually looking at here. So we, as I said, we do the gamified thing already. This is an example of one of the gamified units we have. So this is our quest book, and we've got the way that I've currently structured it is in this sort of list form. So whether they've got a core video that they have to watch, which gets the content to them, then a core experiment that we'll do in class, and a core quest that we'll do in class. Then there's side videos, so if they want to learn more, they can go and watch a side video, an alternate video. So this is looking at the textbook. For those who don't find that videos are their jam, they can go and read the textbook, and 7 pages of the textbook, good on them, and do it that way. Now, this topic has a few alternate videos and a few side videos, side quests in it. Other topics have more. I've chosen this one because this is probably one of the topics that I'm looking at doing for this action research project. I feel that year 9's probably a good year to test this on. We've got, especially in that first part of the semester, where the evidence limit given to me by ISTAA comes in, so I could probably do maybe the first 4 topics, and they're fairly solid 4-week topics in that in the scope and sequence. So it'd be not that one. It'd be good for me to maybe do compare 2 topics, so one teacher-paced and one self-paced, or maybe even 4 topics, so with 2 teacher-paced and 2 self-paced. So my idea there is to give them something along the lines of this. I'd like to actually make this a little bit more visual, with some color cues in it. And I'm thinking sort of like your old school talent trees that you get, so that you go one thing, and then you have to have done that one to get to this one, and then that one to get to this one, but you can choose to go this way as well. So that's sort of thing, so there's a progression built in there, allowing students to go sideways if they don't understand something, so to have a retraining video, so maybe that you didn't understand this, so watch this video where it's presented in a different way, or here's a worksheet or activity that you can do that's presented in a different way so you can get it into your head, or go the other way, that if you got that bit and you dig it, then you can go further into that out of interest. So that's kind of the setup that I'm thinking. So if I set up 4 units like this, have one go through, or 2, or half of them, whether it's 1 or 2, go through with a teacher paced. So that's, all right guys, tonight we're going to do this video in class, here's this activity, tomorrow we're going to do this experiment, and pace it to my pace to get through, basically walk through it through in the 4 weeks like we usually do as teachers. Or whether I get students to self-pace, so say, all right guys, do a video tonight, whichever one it is, then they come in and go, all right, today I'm doing this activity, tomorrow I'm want to do that experiment, so can you book that for me? And this means that I'll have different groups in the class doing different experiments, different activities at different times, and that's really coming down to the student being in control of their learning in that way. And hopefully that control will and lead to some ownership and hopefully engagement, which is what I'm trying to measure in this way. So some of the evidence that I'm thinking I'll use. So I'll do a teaching journal, and that might be this. I might just do some videos in that. I'll see how I go. Survey the kids about how engaged they are. Survey the kids about how they think they've actually learnt something. So if we have outcome sheets for each of our topics. So at the start of the topic we say, all right, in this topic you're going to need to be able to do this, do this, do this, do this. And there might be 10 outcomes in a topic. So give them a survey on 1 to 5 of how they've actually learnt each outcome. And in a teacher-paced method, we might see that the students think that they've got, say, everything to a 2 or 3, somewhere in the middle, when in a self-paced, I would expect that the ones that they have done, they'd understand to a 5, and the ones that they haven't done, they probably don't understand at all, or very cursory understanding of that, which is fine. Knowing a lot of things to a shallow level, or knowing a couple of things to a deep level, it's all knowledge. So we'll see how that sort of goes. I could do pre-test, post-test, or give them a topic test at the start of a topic. I haven't really worked out how I'm going to do that yet. Another thing I've done is go through the different descriptors and actually work out which ones I want to hit as part of this project, how I'm going to hit that in the project, and the thinking about the type of evidence that I can then take away from that. So once I've finished this project, looking at that box ticking exercise, remembering that I need to address 18 of the standards based on that are based on the action research report. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at the moment. I don't know what shape this is going to take form. The next step for me is to start doing some reading and get my literature review ready. So I'll probably post another video talking about literature reviews. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace out.